Hello everyone and welcome back to Absolute Alma's Ink With Me series. But this one is different. It's my Inktober sketchbook review. Since I thought this qualified for an Ink With Me video, since majority of the sketches done in this sketchbook are ink. So here it is in all its majestic amazingness. Just a plain old Canson mixed media sketchbook. I actually ended up not having a sketchbook for the first few days of Inktober, so I did a few sketches on just regular printer paper just to fill it in. And that's why I have a loose leaf picture. So this one is my first ever Inktober sketch in my sketchbook, and it's nothing amazing. I actually did it really fast just to fill it in because it was late that night. And yeah, here is the next one, and this is of me casting my patroness. I took the Pottermore quiz last month for patroness and I got the leopardess, and so I thought I would ink a picture of me casting my official patroness. I did a lot of experimenting this Inktober. This is my first Inktober I've ever done. So half of this sketchbook is not the best. It's not fully of what I am capable of, I feel. It wasn't, yeah. A lot of it, well, let's say half of it, is just stuff that I tried to fill in because I was having a hard time filling in the sketchbook every single day and staying truly committed to the everyday sketch of Inktober. And so yeah, these things aren't very challenging for me. I just threw them in there and played around a little bit with experimenting, but not to the fullest that I had wanted. So it's not the best. And I realized that, so I ended up taking a few days off of Inktober to reevaluate myself, and I found that there were quite a lot of things that I wanted to work on that I wasn't working on, and so I decided to incorporate those things into my sketch, which you'll be able to see later on, which is just like full body poses, hands, faces, proper shading with ink. Yeah, so this is it. Experimenting a lot with coloring things in with pitch black and using gel pen highlights. This sketch, I did a few sketches of a witch, and she was from a character design that I created months prior, and I used her to fill in those areas that I wasn't very creative with because it was already created, so I just kind of threw her into the sketchbook. This drawing is not very good, but I like to say this one was kind of like the turning point. And after a few days I came back and drew this lovely lady, and I kind of realized at that point the things that I wanted to work on and do with Inktober and pens, so I started re-sketching and gained a little bit of motivation and inspiration towards these drawings, and you can see it in this one. She looks great. I also ended up drawing a few pictures off of Reddit Gets Drawn to pump myself up too, so you can see that there. And I started experimenting a bit more with pen shading, texture, and also the pressure of the pen to create lighter cross-hatching marks for lighter shading around like the face and such. This one isn't very good. I found out after I had inked her that her eyes are crooked! Why? Ah! So this one I ended up finding a reference for, but it was actually of a man, and I turned it into a woman because that's what I wanted. And I did the best cross-hatching on her. This is my absolute favorite. Oh, and here's some more character reference designs I did from Kumiko the Treasure Hunter. I really liked her, so I tried to draw her twice because I have a difficult time creating characters, drawing the same face multiple times, if you know what I mean. So that was really fun. I really liked doing that. It was great practice. Yeah. Here's another cutie practicing with solid black clothing so it doesn't take away too much from the rest of the picture, because I felt like her hair was very textured and detailed and I didn't want the rest of her body to take away from that. So I think she turned out great, and it was great, like it was perfect to practice hands. And at that point I also was thinking, oh, why not incorporate more hands, because it has more emotion. So a lot of my drawings started having hands in them. This drawing was not very good, but this one turned out a lot better. I learned from my mistakes. She turned out great. She looks kind of possessed, like she's casting a spell. Cute outfit, her hair's going crazy, lots of texture. Perfect amount of cross-hatching for shading. This one, I really like the way she looks, but she's a bit plain though, and I'll blame that on her lack of clothing. Yeah. This one is my favorite, and I recently did a Ink with Me sketch video for last week on her, so if you want to see that, check it out in my past videos. She is like my favorite Marie Antoinette picture. I loved the way I did her face. I practiced a lot with eyes, making them a bit more realistic looking, and I was able to achieve that with her. This one was more practice with hair. I loved the way it turned out, and the ram horns were a perfect touch for Inktober because it's October, so you want creepy stuff. Her face turned out great. The shading, the dot work, all that was great. And this one I had low expectations for when I sketched her out in pencil, but when I went with her back over it with pen, she ended up looking good. And this one was inspired by ending theme song art from Outlaw Star, with her little animal sitting on her shoulder. I don't know, I feel like it's very interesting to see how much my artwork progressed through the month of October. I went from not knowing how to do anything with ink to drastically being able to achieve a lot more, if that makes sense. Here's a mermaid drawing. I don't do many mermaid drawings, so I thought it would be fun to do one. I think she turned out really cool, and I like the gills on her waist. They actually look like they're kind of opening. Her face is okay. I wasn't able to get her lips correct, but And here's another one with crazy detailed hair, and I started adding headdresses because I wanted to do something more with the top of her head. And then last but not least is my Taurus, because I feel like there's never any good art for the zodiac sign. So I drew her, and she looks great. Well, that's all for my sketchbook review for Inktober. Thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks.